Richard, shall we start with Predator, since it was the first one I mentioned, and it is, I think, the most recently released Predator Killer of Killers, which is a new animated feature-length animation for Disney Plus here, I guess Hulu in those Americas. And he's having his tea while I'm waffling on.
Someone got mad at me for sipping my tea, so I'm being really extra
good.
today.
No, do enjoy.
As well they should, because it's gross. Anyway, Predator. Yes, Predator Killer of Killers, animated. Let me just double check, because I got quite confused with this. Because someone said it was a series, and someone else said it was an anthology film. I believe it's a series now. Always was. And it's directed by Dan Trachtenberg, who did Prey, which we liked a lot.
Yes.
Yes. So this kind of came not out of nowhere, but it's definitely it's an anthology film. That excites me more than a series.
No, I think I agree.
Don't long it out too much. I'm quite. That was a little kind of goatsy gesture I did.
Well, the Terminator, whatever it was called, Zero, did not work, I think, as a series. I think that would have worked more as a feature-length animation.
And I would prefer that for Terminator. Do an anthology like the old kind of Dark Horse comics would do kind of random. I think there was one like there was a Terminator set after another person who was just called Sarah Connor and stuff like that, and little throwaway things. And this has, I think. The heffalump in the room is that this for a million years people have said, can we see a Predator fighting ninjas and samurai, and that's in there. It's like and then there's a kind of what looks like a World War II bomber doing a thing like in the Heavy Metal movie, in there, and there's a kind of a kind of Viking Scandi Nordic thing. Cool.
I mean, like you say, it's a way of answering all those questions in a fairly non-committal, animation. You don't have to make a film of all those things, because let's be honest, if they did commit to doing that, obviously we've had the sort of the Comanche or Native American thing. We know that he has a pirate cutlass, so we're going to go do some pirates then, and we're going to do samurai, and it's kind of like, you're just changing the backdrop. You're not really changing. Do you know what I mean? So this way, it's kind of like, you can make a point of sort of the cyclical nature of generational something,
generational
visible
something.
Monsters, and or whatever, and and get it kind of get it out of your system, because I think, I just think, a lot of people say all that stuff, but it's kind of like, and. All we've done with Predator really is change the backdrop, and so it's kind of like, well, I do think Prey did examine more themes and subtext than most.
It's very filmic. It's very filmic. It was very much a movie, not a TV movie. It used used all the cinematography tricks and editing tricks, and told a very compelling story, and did tell ultimately the same story but in a different way, which is good enough. And we both enjoyed it verily. And we enjoyed it verily.
And they said unto thee, watch Prey.
Watch Prey, it's on streaming.
So you're going to get to blow your samurai wad, as 'twere. I mean, a lot of this stuff, and this has sort of been brought up silently and violently. That predators do kind of cheat. Like, if you can cloak, and you have like way more advanced weaponry, but you're seeking the greatest warriors. It's like in the World War II bit, he literally flies because he's chasing a pilot, I guess.
Yeah.
Like he but then just shoots a thing through him and like yanks him out. It's like, he didn't have that though, did he? So it's not really
I can talk about honour as much as I want, but it doesn't mean anything if I'm kicking a toddler. It kind of feels a bit like that, doesn't it?
It's kind of like even the first Predator. It's like at the end, he's like, "No, I'm going to take all my garb off and fight you mano a mano," and it's like, we didn't do that with anyone else. Like,
you're still a giant alien monster.
Exactly.
I mean, I think because John McTiernan I credit well enough to say, well, he's saying something about hunting, because hunters like to say like, oh yeah, it's this noble thing, and it's like, don't know, man, you've got a rifle against a deer. That seems pretty wank. You know what I mean?
I suppose one could argue he attacks them as a team. So like when they unload all the stuff, it's like fair enough. And then as he whittles it down to one man, then he, so okay, fair in that one, I think.
Yeah, totally. Like so to get into it, without getting into too much kind of Predator talk, which is what we do a lot. I really hope this is cool. I'm here for it. Dan Trachtenberg is now the Predator. He's making Predator Badlands, which I'm less jazzed about for reasons we can get into if you would like to.
What is that?
That's the next live action movie. Yeah, Predator Badlands. But I don't like the art style. That's what I'm trying to say. That's the thing. You can either take or leave. It doesn't mean, because I think what people do mistakenly is go, the art style is bad, and what they mean is I don't like the art style, and I don't like the art style. It's a bit like I don't know. I've found recently with a lot of kind of animation tied to franchises, like Marvel What If, I find really frustrating because it has this. The animation looks cheap, and I don't mean to do down the animators involved, but it's because they spend all their budget on movie stars, and it's something that Invincible on Amazon Prime, which I love, suffers from, because they spend all their money on movie stars and they have a really tight turnaround. And when I looked at Marvel What If, the way I would do it, given money, is like, oh, well, if we do a cosmic one, we're going to make it look like a Steve Ditko one, and then we could do one that looks like John Romita Sr. the next week, and change the art style to accommodate that. It takes money. And I find with this, it's not very exciting to look at, which is a real shame. And also the Predators, I'm not into Predators being big Ben Grimm Hulks. Yeah. They shouldn't. They're taller, and that's because they're aliens. So you put a basketball player in that costume, and it's taller than you, and that adds to the alien aspect because it's 7 foot tall, and that's scary on its own. And it's why the ones in Alien versus Predator just look not very good to me.
They're supposed to sort of be able to run and jump and climb up trees and stuff. Really, they're live, they're not hulking great. Because otherwise, then sort of cloaking is kind of, cloaking so it can stand in the corner. But then if isn't the point that it can kind of, it's a bit
lamp on its head.
Yeah,
it moves above the tree tops.
Purring?
Called me a motherfucker,
and then laughed maniacally.
It asked me if I want some candy.
I did.
Yeah, I said, and they didn't give me any. It's supposed to jump around in the trees. Dick! I put my dick in its trophy cabinet. It's allowed. It's supposed to be like Spider-Man. It jumps around in the trees. And it seems one of the Predators in this is the big Hulk thing. And I'm like, cool, but no, not for me, thanks. And it's done that kind of like choppy frame rate thing, which Spider-Verse did, but it's a much better effect.
Yeah, I don't like. It's a headache-inducing sort of.
Well, I think
experience.
I can see
Spider-Man did it for a reason.
Yeah, this is kind of Spider-Man did it for a reason. I'm not really sure what the reasoning is in this, and it looks kind of paintery, but not. And the thing it shares with the What If Marvel thing is that it's 2D masquerading as 3D, like a cel-shaded thing, which is fine. And again, I think it's against a tight budget. It's a way to get a certain look. I myself am not mad about it. I'm definitely going to watch it. But looking at it from production side, I'm kind of like, I can see this same project being announced with like a really bold art style. And right now I'd be real excited to watch it.
Yeah, definitely.
Whereas right now I'm like, I would like to watch this. I have a lot of goodwill.
Because I feel like animation can do a lot for that character and that world that film couldn't. And I think you could live up to a lot of the kind of artwork that was around for the likes of Predator 2 and even the first one that they couldn't really achieve. You know what I mean? You could make it really stylistic. And maybe they will, but like you say, it's that thing of it just looking quite flatly lit. There's not much done with the lighting, which I kind of go like, well, that's surely what you can do with this, is sort of make it...
And I feel like that's the kind of consequence of because I think if you were to ask, like, oh, it's a comic book look, and that's where they kind of draw the lighting onto the textures of the faces sometimes, and it's not actually using a 3D light source. I don't know if that's the case, but then that's what kind of What If looks like a lot. And it's like, oh, it's like a comic book, and it's like, motherfucker, I can show you comic books with good lighting. It's really, I got some stuff I can show you.
And what's your inspiration? And they'll go, The Dark Knight Returns, and you go,
oh, Jesus Christ.
Then read it, because...
Well, it is unfortunate that Dark Knight Returns is the only comic ever released, as we both know.
That way.
There's the only comic that exists.
Yeah.
So I think, I would imagine... And again, I've got so much goodwill to this, so I'm not shitting on it, and I do want to watch it. It does look cool.
Yeah.
But I imagine, being who they are that are making it Dan Trachtenberg stuff, I wonder if they're kind of... Because, Predator had such a life in Dark Horse Comics. And I guarantee they'll be like, oh, it's comic booky. And it's like, it is. but not like the ones you're influenced by. It's just this, if you downloaded a comic book template for Photoshop. And I really hate shitting on the work of animators. And I don't want to do that. Like, I'm sure they worked immensely hard with the budget they had, and maybe when I watch it, I'll feel differently.
With an AI gun to their head, no doubt.
Yeah,
that's the other thing. So.
Indeed. And working for fucking Disney as well.
Yeah.
Who and again, the same people who made Marvel What If. It's like, the world is yours. I would rather you have... And the thing is, in What If, there are a lot of imitated voices, but they've got like Mark Ruffalo and Scarlett Johansson and all these fuckers coming back and doing their voices, which is great, but then it costs the animation. And Invincible is great. The voice cast in Invincible is so good. But it's at the cost of the visuals. And then those poor fuckers have to make a season a year with like... And apparently that studio has about 4 people in it. And 3 of them are on annual leave. But that's my frustration. Looking at it straight away, I'm kind of like, oh, cheap modern animation. And they haven't announced any cast. I wonder if there's going to be...
Well, this is my perennial problem. I mean, I bang this drum a lot, but it's kind of, especially in the world of voice work, because for a long time you did have voice actors who were just the voice actors, and they would cast things like Batman the animated series. I mean, Mark Hamill aside, but it was actually Tim Curry who was cast originally.
And Mark Hamill was not exactly movie star status when that came out.
He wasn't top draw, and he did it. He auditioned for it, and he went in and he was like, he campaigned for it, but and that was just serendipity, really, because, as I say, it was already cast. But you kind of, they went and looked for the right people for that job, and the same thing. A lot of people had careers, and they're still going now, but they've kind of made it like Billy West and those guys, and John DiMaggio, and of course the Simpsons cast and everyone. But
Rob Paulson, and all those guys. There's so many legendary voice actors that are still in the mix, but it's kind of like, what's Zendaya doing? So, a lot.
Well, what's his name? Now I'm racking my brain. Who did the original Predator?
It was Optimus Prime, wasn't it?
It was Optimus Prime. Yeah,
Peter Cullen.
Peter Cullen, thank you. Yeah, Peter Cullen. So and so even this has pedigree for finding voiceover actors.
Now, in the interest of doing some fucking research, I've pulled it up, and you can see my face is glowing because that's what happens. Look at this key light when I open a Wikipedia window.
Yeah.
That's how you can see when I'm lying. I've looked at... Now, I'm going to bury the lead here, Duncan. These are the 4 cast members listed, and now I'm suddenly a lot more excited.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know 3 of them, but the 4th one is a friend of the channel, kind of. Lindsay Levanchi. It's not you. Louis Ozawa Changchen, Rick Gonzalez, and Michael Biehn. And now I'm like, hold on a minute.
I'm in.
Give me some Michael Biehn in a Predator project. That's fucking cool.
That gives him the trifecta, right? That gives him the...
It does, yeah. He joins Lance Henriksen in the...
Yeah, and...
Oh, dude. Okay, Louis Ozawa Changchen was he was the Yakuza guy in Predators.
Oh, brilliant.
So,
perfect.
Yeah.
There you go. Lovely.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So I don't really know the others.
Bill Paxton, of course, is the other.
Yes, of course. God rest him. Rest him. Oh, well, that's very cool. Okay, so look, I
think
can't
Lance
really
Henriksen ate his youth and lived on.
Absurd.
But
So
hell. Anyway, So I we'll watch it. We're behind it. I think that is the takeaway here. We're looking for things to enjoy about it. There are. I think it's the ubiquity of the animation that probably lets it down. The kind of the lack of style or distinctive style that I think a project like this could have, especially the sort of samurai thing. I mean, obviously, Predator inherently draws a lot from that, in terms of its design. I know it's got the Rastafarian, it's got
it's a whole melting pot of warrior culture stuff, and different random things. Yeah.
But I think sort of not temporally, but like sort of thematically, and and sort of ingrained in it is this sense of honor and code, and so of course that lends itself to then samurai culture. So it's kind of if you're going to do that, surely you lean into more anime type. I don't know, but we're behind it.
We're behind it. I just have it should have excited me more. It's just like I'm glad the world's finally getting their Predator versus Samurai thing that the world has wanted forever. And kind of there's a taste of that in Predators because there's that lovely long grass scene with the Yakuza guy. He was really cool in that. He does a really great because he has to be quiet, doesn't he? Because he talks too much because his fingers are cut. Like he has a really great silent-ish performance in that movie. Lots of like expressive stuff, which his facial expressions will be really useful in animation. So
anyway, so that's Predator, Killer of Killers.